Alright, here is the video review for the new Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures Droid 3-pack. As you can see, you get BB-8, R2-D2, and their new friend D-O from The Rise of Skywalker. And it was a neat pack. I hadn't intended on getting on anything for Force Friday. I walked into Target and, like, if they had the Mandalorian Black Series figure, I'll pick him up. But they did not. But then I saw this, and, like, honestly, I had to get it for the R2-D2 alone, because I think he is the best figure in this 3-pack. But neat to have a little representation of all the droids. A little more cartoony, a little more chibi than, like, Black Series stuff. Like, their eyes are much larger in proportion to their faces. They kind of make them look a little cartoony and cute. And first up in the pack is Dio, the new little robot. Don't know much about him because he's a new character, but it's just a little robot, a head on a wheel with an armature. The armature is a little soft. There is a joint here on the head so he can look up and down and around, but because of the nature of the armature, it's kind of a rubbery plastic, so you kind of want to hold it right here if you're going to adjust the head, or otherwise you're going to twist the whole assembly that it connects him to. Is just a single wheel, which does rotate. Although you'll notice there's a couple of slightly deeper divots here on one side of the wheel. It's like regular notches, and there's a couple of actual bumpy divots here. Right there, you can see the two shaded ones, and you have to have those down on the ground for him to stand up. Easy to knock over, but still fairly. If you actually touch him, if you bump him, but like just a shake, he's actually pretty solid. And the only other note, like what was kind of impressed me articulation-wise, is that his antennae are actually on ball joints, so you can pose them around. They do. I haven't had any issues with mine. It takes a little bit of force to. Somebody said they pop out very easily, and you can pull them out. I'm finding it's a little harder to do. Like, they don't just come out with just a light tap. Like, you do have to exert some pressure and pop them out. So maybe they got a QC error, or maybe mine's tighter than normal. I don't know. But like I said, you can pull them out, but they aren't just falling out on their own. And that's Dio. Curious to see. They're kind of pushing him. He's got a remote control version. He's kind of the hero droid they're pushing this time around for the movie. So I'll see what he does in the film. I'll set him off to the side here. Get him to stand again. Well, okay, you gotta balance them just right too. There we go. It helps if you have the head a little forward of center. Then BB-8. Move R2 off to the side here. BB-8. At first, I thought this button was crooked, and it's just the way it's molded in, because you can see it's a little shorter on this side. But he's got a button on the bottom, and I was like, should this snap into place? Is something wrong? Did something break? I didn't know what the deal was. He's got two of his side panels here, and you'll know which ones they are because they'll have like a little divot here that you can get a fingernail under, although it is a little difficult to get them started. You pull them out. Yeah, there you go. You pull it out. You'll hear it click. And pull the other one. Once you have one out, once you get it, the other one just kind of slides out. So he's got these little attachments on a cable. You'll hear the button lock into place. And actually, once that's done, you can turn his head freely. The way I figured this out, and I'll show it in a minute, was I was twisting his head, and I heard it click in one direction. It kind of had that spring release in one direction, and I realized what the gimmick was. Now, the box shows this as a spinny attack, but on the box, it shows it as, like, here it is. He's got these little side panels out on strings. The way the box makes it look here on the side is that you pull him out, and then you hold his body and push him down onto a surface, and he has a spinny attack. Now, doing that will make his head spin and these retract, but that doesn't seem like an attack to me. Like, they just kind of, his head spins around and the strings rapidly retract. What I think you're supposed to do here is, with the button on the bottom, is pull the strings out, hold him by his head, and push that down, and then his body spins around and kind of whips the cables around. So I think that's how that gimmick is actually supposed to work, because that at least makes sense. It seems like an attack, whereas if you just push him down, he just sucks these back in, and then his head spins. Now, again, could be referencing a specific scene in the movie, and it does work the way the box is describing it to me, so I guess we'll find out in December. But I think it visually is more exciting to hold him by his head and push his button down like that and have him spin up. Now, the way I found out how this worked, because I thought I had tried pulling them. One of these is always really super tight, and the other one is Like one of them is very hard to get off, and the other one starts pretty easily. So I was just twisting his head, and if you twist it, if he's facing you, if you twist it clockwise, it just rotates on the post in there, and you can position it in a lot of different ways around his body. Although it really only looks good, and it's on a ball joint this way too, so you can move his head around, and it's easy if you twist it clockwise. If you twist it counterclockwise, that's when you start seeing one of the panels, the easy panel, come out. And if you let go before it clicks all the way into place, it springs back. And that's where I realized there was a gimmick, and then I saw this had popped out. So, pull that out. But like I said, I'm pretty sure the gimmick is supposed to be that. That seems like more of an attack, but whatever. And then once that's done, you kind of, again, because the way the button sits, his body's sculpted at a way to kind of sit at an angle, and the button sits flat, so it looks off. You kind of got to get it to balance, and it also balances easier if you have his head kind of rotated so it's centered on top of the ball, and then it's a little less difficult to get him to stand up. Just because it doesn't just twist in one place. Where it sits on the ball itself is a little awkward, but you just gotta. It doesn't help that this is not an even surface I'm trying to get him to sit on either, but. There we go. And you can twist this on the ball joint, but he will support himself. But it's he is more susceptible to a shake falling over than Dio is. Just how it is. Will he stand up over here? He will, thank goodness. Finally, R2-D2. R2-D2 has no special attack features. He is just a cute, cool little R2 figure. He has all the articulation you would expect from R2-D2. His head can twist a full 360. It's just on a swivel. He's got swivel here at the legs. His feet, in a really cool way of doing this, are actually on ball joints. So you can rotate him back and forward. You can rotate him side to side. So if you have him on an uneven surface, it's very easy to get him to stay upright and keep his feet flat. And he does have his little third wheel, does in fact retract and flatten up all the way into his body. So you can have just a standard looking R2. And then and there's a couple little tabs here. You can see it's like a kind of curved, angled cutout in the circle underneath him, and then a couple little tabs on that wheel. So it's actually very easy to pull it all the way out until it clicks and put it in place. Now this foot is just on a hinge. It just rotates forward and back. And he does have, not entirely accurate, I think he just had a single wheel on his feet. Maybe I'm wrong. Haven't actually seen them. But he's got a couple of wheels on the two big feet and one wheel on the middle, so he can't actually roll as well. So yeah, very cool little 3-pack of droids. It is this. I didn't buy any other Galaxy of Adventure figures. It is the normal figures. There's a Darth Vader, a Chewbacca, a Kylo Ren, a Jet Trooper, and a Rey. There may be one other person I'm forgetting, but there are some like action figures in that same kind of style that are $9.99 each. The Droid 3-pack was $14.99 at Target. But a neat little set, a great way to kick off Force Friday. The packaging looks like this with the little cartoony versions there on the front. Like I said, hadn't planned on picking it up. I wasn't even aware of its existence until I walked into Target, saw it on the thing, and grabbed it. But there is the Galaxy Adventures Star Wars Droid 3-pack. And real quick, I meant to do this during the R2-D2 segment. I talked about the Black Series at the beginning. There's R2-D2, and I had him sitting over here the whole time. Here is the Black Series Chopper. And you can see the Chopper does have as hard as it is to get it out of there. I can get it here. Come on, there we go. There we go. Oh, that pulled it all the way out. Let's get them both in a similar position, although I was going to stand R2 up too. So, roughly Black Series scale, maybe a little smaller. I don't have Black Series R2-D2, so I don't know what size his Black Series figure is, but not entirely out of scale with Black Series if you chose to go that route. Because like Chopper was a little bit of a chunkier droid, but I don't know if he was this size in relation to R2-D2. And then again, if you put the wheels up and stand them up together, there you go. They'll really be hanging out in the same cantina. All right, but there you go. Just want to make that comparison before I shut this thing down.